privacy. That was my first point. So I'd been in the industry for quite some time, and I saw where it was going. And I was like, hold on, this isn't right. I can see that we're paying the mobile network operator, but then if I want to access my data, how do I? I cannot. It's impossible. So I said, okay, I need to bring privacy, a privacy that's regulated, but a privacy that protects people from the actual company that they're paying. And right now you don't have that. If you now go to your mobile network operator, whoever it is, and say, give me my history, what they're going to give you? Maximum 6 months worth of payments. Why? This information should be yours. Your location should be yours, at least shared with you. So I built this privacy-based protocol. And then I realized that existing mobile network operators didn't want to use the privacy-based protocol because...
I'm giving away $100 in every episode. All you need to do is to comment your favorite part of the episode along with your Twitter account, hit the like button, and the winner will be picked up every single week.
I feel like Mr. Boom. Yeah.
Okay guys, today is one of the most important episodes. Why? Because I personally like the person. I consider him really as a brother. Sometimes he makes me happy, many times he doesn't make me happy, but that's fine. That's the nature of work, right? But what he's building is something unique. And what I like about it, it's not something can be copied the same as what we see in Web3 because it requires a lot of work, a lot of experience, a lot of data, a lot of connections, a lot of everything from whatever you can imagine. And let's start. Micky, how are you?
Elja, what a pleasure to be on.
A pleasure to see you in the show. He took me, 6 months to come. I managed to see him in Turkey. I managed to see him in Germany, but he couldn't give us the time to come here. Maybe he doesn't like Dubai.
I knew that I wouldn't be able to come to Dubai and leave without coming on the show 100%. So my first destination is to come and see you, my brother. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming. And before we start, who is Micky?
Micky is a guy that believes that everybody should have the right to internet access. Micky is a guy that grew up without internet whilst all his friends grew up with internet.
Yeah, tell us more. We need to know that side. Who was Micky? When the young Micky, when he studied, where
he studied in the UK. Didn't study that much, not until I got a little bit older in life. I always enjoyed working, always enjoyed innovating, always enjoyed people, very much so, and really enjoyed fighting for what's right.
Okay, but you look heavy when you said fighting. I thought you were like actually a boxer or something, or a wrestler, or...
Yeah, I've got some history in martial arts that I used to take, but now my children are actually much better than I ever was, so I'm proud. Evolution. So,
funny man, this guy's so much shy on camera. Actually, 10 minutes ago, it's a different person. Now you're so...
It's this big lie in front of my eyes.
So different. So basically, you grew up in UK.
Yep.
And at what age or what first job you got in Web2 and what was the job?
I actually never have had a job. I've always started my own companies.
Okay.
So I tell a lie, excuse me. I did cover for somebody in a bar job once for a couple of weeks. So I helped them out whilst they were on holiday. Yeah. I learned how to pour beer, which was pretty cool. But again, it was about talking to people, about understanding people, and about being free with people. It's very important.
Okay. And then you started your first company at what age?
I've been working since I was 13 years old. So, and whatever I could do. And then I found music. And then I realized I could do quite a lot with music. And then when I was 18, finally I found telecommunications. And that was...
at 18 years old?
18 years old, yeah.
Wow.
It was the minutes business. So I would buy minutes and then sell them to somebody else for more expensive.
Wow. That was a business back in the days.
Huge business. All over Microsoft Messenger.
I'm more younger than you, so I didn't really see this phase.
All over Microsoft Messenger. There was no Skype in those days. There was no real video calling in those days.
True.
There was nothing. It was just like you send a message to somebody, you hope they don't scam you, and vice versa. The other people working with you. You build a relationship very small. You start to sell $2,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million.
And it was mass, huh?
It was huge business. But a lot of the people in telecoms, they disappeared. So only the good guys, only the people that are here today are actually the good guys. All the bad guys, they ran away to a different island. Much like crypto, to be honest with you.
I agree. But also all the players today, they're still centralized, which is a different topic now. We're going to come to it. So what did you do after selling these minutes? What was the next business?
I stayed around telecom for a long time. And then I decided to move outside of telecom to build a software business.
All in the UK?
In the UK, in Canada,
Okay.
in the Netherlands,
Okay.
Holland, a few other places around the world.
Okay.
So I very much enjoyed what I did, but then really I understood that actually telecommunications is my bread and butter. That's what I'm good at. That's where I understood.
And your passion is there.
100%. It's got to be, right? You have to believe.
No,
in what
you're actually... I think I made a tweet about, or I said in your space one day, if this project didn't reach to at least few billions, I will just delete my account, and I'm still.
I made sure that we retweeted that.
Yes, and I'm still up to it. I mean, if you're still focusing, this easy can reach, because nothing is financial advice. I'm just saying based on the experience of this guy and the experience of the team. They are phenomenal. I mean, and the project is unique. It's not something can be copied. Even if there is one project the same as this one, is way behind from the tech side and from the development side and from the understanding of the real market size and real value. So how you jumped to Web3 before you started World Mobile?
Privacy. That was my first point. So I'd been in the industry for quite some time, and I saw where it was going. And I was like, hold on, this isn't right. I can see that we're paying the mobile network operator, but then if I want to access my data, how do I? I cannot. It's impossible. So I came to a situation where I'm like, hold on, I'm going to have kids. It's going to change one day for them, and then it's going to be this dystopian future that everybody's talking about. You know, the Chinas, the rest. By the way, it's not like that in China, but the meme is that that's how it's going to be. So I said, okay, I need to bring privacy, a privacy that's regulated, but a privacy that protects people from the actual company that they're paying. And right now you don't have that. If you now go to your mobile network operator, whoever it is, and say, give me my history, what they're going to give you, maximum 6 months worth of payments. If you're a regulator or you're law enforcement, you get all of that.
True.
But it doesn't make any sense to me. Why? This information should be yours. Your location should be yours, at least shared with you. So I built this privacy-based protocol, and then I realized that existing mobile network operators didn't want to use the privacy-based protocol because they're not making any money. They're making money from our data.
True.
So why would they want to cut their money? And then WhatsApp came around and SMS.
And why would
guides.
they want to just spend the time sharing extra information for a client that is not going to pay them for it?
Well, information is very valuable if only one source has it. When multiple sources has it, it becomes less valuable,
yes, exactly.
right? It's still very valuable, just becomes less valuable. So yeah, it's different. You know, telecom companies, they're very archaic in their attitude. How do you start a telecom company? You go out, you raise $100 million, $200 million, you buy this license, this hardware, this software, employ 100 people, employ some engineers, and all of a sudden, you've got a telecom company. But this method worked in the 1990s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s. But actually, telecom is declining. Profits are dropping. There's a big problem. Even the AT&Ts, the T-Mobiles,
declining.
the Verizons.
Why? Why is declining?
Because legacy infrastructure, legacy business models, the EBITDA is consistently going down, right? So even with more customers, they used to make 35, 40%, 50% EBITDA. Now telecom companies lucky to make 20% EBITDA. Lucky, I should say. Some are making 15%.
Wow,
so
really?
Yeah.
But they are still making money, huh? Tons amount of money.
The big three in the USA, $100 billion a year each.
Wow.
The CEO of AT&T just got paid $39 million. We raised $39 million as
CEO.
RTG. He got paid for this year $39 million.
Do you have any position for me
Soon.
as a CMO or whatever? I'm more than happy if there are these numbers there.
Look, he does a good job, right? But whilst doing a good job, actually, who's he doing a good job for? Telecommunications is we pay for that service. It's wrong that we don't actually have access to our own information. It's wrong that when we travel from A to B, we don't have good signal. Why? And when we travel from A to B, do we get the discount on the time that we have bad
You
signal?
get nothing.
You don't even think about it. You don't even ask for it. We're so conditioned with telecommunications.
Actually, true. It's like you're paying for something and they don't give you what you paid for, and they even force you to accept other things, and you just accept.
You have to. What other choice have you got?
They actually made you accept without even feeling that you're accepting.
No, you don't even know.
Exactly.
You don't even think to complain.
You don't even, exactly.
It's like if you go to a restaurant and you eat steak, in that restaurant, if the steak is $100 and it's good, you don't complain. $500 is good, you don't complain. If you buy a $5 steak and it's bad, you complain, right? Because we know we should. Of course. But with telecommunications, we have no other option.
You cannot even do a shit.
No.
And actually, now when I'm thinking of it, You cannot do a thing. And not only that, they make you pay for everything without even, like, sometimes I find my bill is like 1, 2, 3. You want to complain? You cannot complain.
Year on year, 5G, let's take 5G, okay? What's cool about 5G? A few things, it's fast. What's not cool about 5G is we paid for it.
Yeah,
We paid for it as customers. Our bills go up year on year to install 5G, a system we didn't really need. Fix the 4G, first of all. Fix the problem of connectivity. Don't make it a new technology to make it shorter. It was, I think, in the trillions of dollars to deploy in the United States of America alone, 5G. And it's still not deployed fully.
Wow.
30% of the land mass of America is unconnected. 10% of the population is unconnected. Millions of children don't have internet.
In
USA.
the US?
Yeah. I'm not talking about Africa now.
I was like, okay, if that's the US, then what's going to happen to the entire planet? I think US is one of the most infrastructured, right?
I think we're regressing. I think with legacy business models and legacy infrastructure, actually it's not getting better, it's getting worse because our demand for data is much higher than it is year on year. We're growing around 30%, 40% of the demands. You remember, you're a gamer, right? You remember the days when 200 megabyte game was a huge file, right?
Of course.
And then 2 gigabytes. Wow. Now you can download 200
and you
gigabytes.
cannot even find it, man. You just hear the number, but when you actual play, as we said already, they give you nothing compared to the reality. And then they say we have fiber optics back in the days, it was like cables. Again, it's very bad. It's just some media that you pay for and you get nothing out of it.
So this is the fight, right? This is the fight that a service that we pay for, we shouldn't have to give up our human rights just to be connected. And that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for everybody to be connected. I'm fighting for everybody to have fair pricing. But ultimately, I'm fighting so that we control our own data. Very, very important, especially with the advent of AI. 10 years ago, they had this big pile of data. They don't know what to do with it. They can search a few things. They have technicians. They have a whole team to do data mining. Now, plug it into ChatGPT, pay your license, and all of a sudden, you can data mine like crazy. You can find any information. Skiing, type it in. Holiday, type it in. All of a sudden you can hear, see, understand everything and process it in a way that we couldn't do so before. So right now is a critical moment in time where somebody needs to come in and say, actually, I have a right to my own data.
So now, I know you're a fighter and you have a mission, and that's not something you actually see in Web3. People in Web3, they just fight for money. And that's the biggest problem in all projects, that you cannot have real people and real community because most of them, they just want to make money and leave. But while you're adding value, in my kind of opinion.
You've got to have both, Elja.
Of course.
You cannot just care and there'll be no product. Of course. It makes money. But if you have both, this is the thing that distinguishes.
That's why no one can do it. I mean, what if you look at the space, 99%, they cannot offer anything to the world. Well, I mean, besides they do donation for cats or dogs, that's a different story. But it doesn't generate revenue for people. You managed. Let me not just burn it, because then I'm gonna just say everything about the project in my view. Maybe I listen from you. What is World Mobile?
World Mobile is a new economic model to connect people, living not only to support the failures or the problems that the existing mobile network operators have, but actually redistributing the wealth back to the people. Not just talking about it. We have nodes out there, thousands of nodes. It started off with schools, started off with government buildings, started off with hotels in Zanzibar, giving money back to the people for hosting the infrastructure. This is not something a mobile network operator does. A lot of the time I get people say, I think World Mobile is not going to survive because of Starlink. One, we work with Starlink. Two, it's a totally different model. Starlink don't have the approach that you can democratize connectivity. It's one centralized entity that doesn't share. And that's okay. That's a prerogative. They don't need to. They've got a cool tech. But mobile network operators, communication providers, what's the difference between us and them? Difference is I'm not greedy. Difference is I realize that the potential to be able to connect 1 billion people is there. Maybe even 2 billion, maybe even 3 billion. But I also realize I can't do it alone.
That's the question. What is the human population and how much they actually have no access to the internet?
About half the population don't have access to the internet.
Half of the population.
Zero access. Okay, but then there's another 1 or 2 billion people that are still living off of 3G, 2G.
1 second. So you're telling me that the majority of the world today, they have no access to the internet?
I would estimate that around 25 to 30% of the world has access to high-speed internet. I would estimate that an additional 20% have access to 3G, mobile money. 2G. It's not really useful. It's okay. It's better than nothing, right? But you cannot stream this Okay, you have to press pause, let it buffer. It costs you money to do that, right? And ironically, those people are also poor, so they can't just wait and use data. So it's a very unfair world at the moment. And what we're trying to do is not make it fairer. We're trying to incentivize people so that we can fix this problem. And what's the best way to incentivize people? There's two things. One's a mission, the second's money.
True.
If you combine both, you're in a very magic spot. It's like the recipe of a cake that tastes so good.
And that's why you always have the slogan, connect the unconnected. And for me, that's a marketing thingy, which emotionally it hits me, but at the end, I love money as well. So I like the other part, shared economy.
Yeah.
And I know exactly how your system works, but tell us exactly every part and what does it mean a shared economy?
Okay, so in traditional telecoms, you've got towers. You see them everywhere, right? They're these ugly things. And then it used to be that every telecom company owned its own tower.
True.
Then big capital came along and it bought up the towers from the telecom companies. And then it co-hosted infrastructure on there. We say a sharing economy because actually, how do you get involved in telecoms? I talked about it a little bit earlier. You have to have tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars normally. But as a normal person, what are your options? Buy some stock.
Yep.
That's it. A sharing economy.
If you can even access to it.
Sure. Half the world can't, right?
Yeah.
So if you decide that you want to be part of telecoms today, it's very difficult. World Mobile breaks it down into bite-sized pieces where even for $500, $250, even $50 in Pakistan, you can become an operator.
For $50, you can become an operator.
Okay, don't quote me here, but it's in between $50 and $60 for
fuck my life, even if it's 100, we're not really far.
Okay, so anyone can become a part of this solution and become an operator. An operator is someone who provides the capex, they own the infrastructure, and they work with a host. A host provides the location, is the replacement of the traditional tower, and they work together to provide. And no one's ever really done that before. Helium have tried to do something with IoT. They did a great job in the beginning. Now they've kind of moved. They're reselling and mobile network operators SIM cards. It's not quite the same. The narrative was very good, so I'm very thankful to Helium because they've educated a lot of people on what DePIN is or what a sharing economy is. But in reality, a sharing economy is something that eventually is not in the control of one centralized body, right? A sharing economy is you making a decision tomorrow with your friends, with your business partners, that you want to be part of this. You buy some nodes, AirNodes, you find a host using our site or your own sources, and all of a sudden you can set up a network and you can start to make money from it every day. That's what a sharing economy is. It's putting the power back in the people's hands to optimize, maintain.
So basically, if I want, let's say I'm living in a place where I have no internet,
yep,
or it's a weak internet,
yep,
I can provide a better connection, and I as well can make money out of it. So I become like let's say a virtual telecom company. You
can become your own AT&T. You
Yes.
can be as big as that, or you can become your own small local network, right?
True.
As big as small as you want to be. But the idea is that if enough people are combined, then you've got this network that spans the world. And we've watched it. We're watching it happen in Africa live. We're watching it every single day grow. We watched it happen in Pakistan without any World Mobile team, just literally a handbook and the World Mobile sharing economy. Now we're watching it happen in the United States of America. It's logical to say that if people are getting a return of 2 to 3 years in stables of physical infrastructure, this is quite an exciting opportunity. And if you can enter into that market for as low as $50, $60, and you can go all the way up until tens of millions of dollars as a consortium or as a group, then why shouldn't these networks meet each other in the end and become one contiguous system?
That's actually something, in my opinion, is good. Because here, it's actually a Web3 project today where you have a token, etc. Yet, it's a Web2 company. I mean, some people don't even know about the token and don't care about the token. Yet, they want to have this. So do you actually have an access or a marketing strategy just to target Web2 people? Or are you just focused in the Web3?
I think, okay, lots of people are interested because you get paid in a US dollar equivalent, whether that's a stable or fiat, to your bank account for running a node. So we attract a lot of people outside of Web3 too.
Okay.
But I believe the philosophy of people in Web3 are the people that need to drive this forward, because we've got people backing projects that don't make any sense. Why are they doing that? They want to make a change. They want to be disruptive. They want to be, they're almost rebels in Web3. And they're kind of stuck with these, I don't say meme coins are bad. I don't say they're good either. And they're kind of stuck with these futuristic projects that could do this and could do that. What needs to be delivered now in Web3 is a situation where people can actually grab something and bite it, see that it's real, and go with it, because the hunger's there from these communities. This is part of our expansion into multi-chain, right?
True. And the problem in Web3, most of the projects, the only way for them to make money is selling tokens. So it's kind of Ponzi scheme. And most of them, they don't even know what is treasury fund or anything like that. They don't even know what does it mean. So once the project is high, they sell tokens and they do bad mistakes, and they even might buy in the wrong time. And they don't know what's something called, they have to have something called treasury fund. They have to hire someone who handles treasury fund so he can buy time, increase their treasury assets, so which is their token. That's the only thing they have.
Which is selling down on their own community.
Exactly. And I don't care, sell it. But if you have a treasury fund that he can go and rebuy again in the right time, or almost in the right time, so he can increase your treasury, so your project can succeed by time, I'm fine. But they don't even understand these things. They just sell, they go buy Lambo, buy a big villa, right? Buy Ferraris, go parties. You saw Singapore the last one. I didn't go.
Spend hundreds of thousands of dollars putting on events, making videos.
That's why I didn't go. And before you went, I told you it's just going to be a shit show, because the type of people are going, most of them or many of them are these type of just degen, and they have zero value to share. And I'm even saying, if you looked at the Web2 companies and giant companies, they will do one party a year. And it's like not really party like the one we see here. It's just it's like a dinner with blah, blah, blah. It's fun to do a party. But in Web3, if you looked at the parties, they are equal as project getting launched every day. They do party every second. And that's not something you're going to drive real use case, real retailers. Now, what World Mobile is different is that you guys have a running business model.
We make money.
You make fucking money.
No, our sharing economy makes money. And that's what's so...
Of course.
And that's the bullshit that's in this space right now, is that a lot of the companies are promising to make money, but in reality, where is that money going to come from? You've got these storage as a service.
Actually, something very good. How many employees do you have?
We have around 100, 107 fluctuations.
And guys, look at me at the camera. I've met some of his team. Like Alan, I would be more than happy to get him one day. He's around 10, 15 years experience in telecom. 30, yes. I just want to make him... He
just looks young.
I just want to make him young, but he made him old now. But, so this guy, imagine with his level, etc. So it's not like the admins that they're sitting in your Telegram groups who take $200 a month. No, these people take real salary. And if you know, there is the migration for WMT now to WMTX, all this is happening, and having 100 employees, they are still fucking working every day. And they're not selling tokens because they're doing the migration, right? You ask yourself, how they are still today, still able to run this? The answer is simple, because it's a fucking real business that generate revenue for them and their community. That's why their community are waiting, because what? They're still making money. They're making money. They don't care bull market or bear market. They're still making money. The only, let's say the extra sugar onto that when the bull market comes, and that they will make too much money from the token side, but yet they are living from the money, and you are running as a company. Any company like you, it will have already fired 99.9% of the employees.
Sure, after year one or year two, because they ran out of their cash, because they're not bringing anything back in. We're making millions of dollars a year for our sharing economy, and then we're making something for World Mobile. I can't say that World Mobile's cash positive or break even at this stage, but the sharing economy is profitable.
Of course.
And that's what counts, because that's the most important thing. I cannot go out there like every other telco company and start to do deploy a network, build a network, make this happen, because I'm falling into the same trap as everybody else, and you can see where they're going. It's very difficult for telecom companies today, for communications companies. They can't grow. It's actually, even though they didn't mean to, it's their fault. They are the problem. They're the reason that half the world's unconnected. With our new model, having the power of the Web3 community behind us, having real things like staking to your SIM card, staking to infrastructure, whether that's an Earth node or an AirNode, having real money come in to the platform and then automatically be distributed its proportionate shares back to every party, the host, the operator, the scanners, and World Mobile. This is what makes things tick, and it's very rare in Web3. I'm surprised. I see some great innovation in this space, and I see fight, and I see energy. But what I don't see is projects, many of them, actually bringing in money. You've got so many storage as a service products, right? Which one is actually bringing in money?
None.
Maybe a trial with this, or a trial over there, or this or that. You don't have many projects that are actually generating income, and that's where we've really managed to take it to the next level. And there's not a single node on our network that's owned by a sharing economy that isn't making money. It's not like build it and they will come. I love that philosophy. That's fantastic. Dubai has that philosophy. But you need to have a lot of resources behind you to do that. What you need is demand. You need demand for a product. And then as soon as people have that demand, you release. And then all of a sudden, that product is making money. That feeds back across the ecosystem. And all of a sudden, the ecosystem doesn't really matter if it's a bull or a bear, right? Of course, we're all looking forward to the bull market, right? There's people at World Mobile, just like they would have stocks, they have tokens. But all of our co-founders haven't sold a single token. Why? Because we believe, right? We believe that World Mobile will still continue in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. Whether Micky will be, Mr. Telecom will be the CEO at this point, I'm not sure. If I get to the position where I don't need to be the CEO, I've done my job right. I've empowered the people to build the people's network to make it happen.
But when you make the other project that time, just call me. I want to be from the beginning. To witness.
You're every project.
And by the way, I myself never sold any of my WMT. And I don't want to sell it anytime soon because I believe where it's sitting, again, it's not a financial advice, but this is my belief. Where it's sitting at the moment is absolutely trash to where it should be, and it will be. I mean, inshallah. I'm just waiting for this migration now I'm not chilling till now. I'm not going crazy because I just wanted to go where the new migration, where we have to the right audience and things. Now, I saw a picture that you guys were standing right in front of SpaceX rocket. Was this a Photoshop or?
Definitely not a Photoshop.
Okay, tell me more.
We're invited there. We've done some work with SpaceX. We continue to have a very good relationship with SpaceX, with the C-suite there.
So you were standing actually physically in front of the...
If you get invited, you're very lucky. You have to have a whole load of... It's crazier than passport control here.
Of course.
Right, you have to have a whole load of things. Actually, I think that Andy Soper gave everyone COVID there, so they didn't check for COVID. But we've been there a few times. And we know a few of the good people there. And SpaceX...
That's amazing.
SpaceX are cool, very cool innovation, but it's not going to connect the unconnected en masse. They need some people like World Mobile. World Mobile needs SpaceX, and there's other LEO providers, right? We're speaking to Amazon right now, maybe even considering launching our own LEO.
Wow. So we're coming back to SpaceX. These people actually stood in front of a fucking SpaceX. They're not typing, let's go with SpaceX to the moon on the next chat.
Actually, we don't talk about it. It's probably the most I've ever talked about it.
That's why I'm not saying, and you've never mentioned it, but like I'm like maybe this guy made it Photoshop and he doesn't want to speak about it or something.
No.
He was so happy and he wanted to put like the World Mobile and flying to the moon.
No. This is not our style. We don't need to.
Of course. I just wanted to understand the situation here. Also, you have a relationship with Vodafone.
Yep, Vodacom, which is a Vodafone-owned group, but other mobile network operators. With Vodacom, we launched the world's first commercial aerostat. We're now in negotiations with Mozambique to bring a sharing economy there.
What are you existing now? So far, you said Pakistan, you said USA. What else?
Zanzibar, Tanzania,
okay.
Mozambique, Nigeria, Kenya, Pakistan, another Asian country which will be news pretty soon. Begins with P. A lot of our community are going to be quite happy about that. The United States of America are now looking to move into Europe.
So I can tell you salamat.
Yeah.
In their language, if it's P.
You know.
So that's another question here. When you're saying you're launching, now let's say I'm living here in Dubai. Can I just go buy the node and put the AirNode, or I have to come to you? Or so people understand.
Today, no.
Okay.
So today, in the countries that we operate, we have a platform called airnode.worldmobile.io. It's, excuse me team, whoever's listening to this, I don't want to minimize the hard work that we've put into it, but essentially it's a shop with a map.
Okay.
In there, you can register to become a host. When you become a host, you have a hex that's pinpointed. Then operators are people that buy the infrastructure, they own the infrastructure, they pay for the installation of the infrastructure. They go and find a host, they click on the host, they start speaking, like Tinder for telecoms.
Oh, okay.
They start speaking, they say, okay, I'm happy for you to host, I'm happy for you to host my equipment. Are you happy to be my host? Yeah, I'm happy to be the host. They shake hands, they sign a deal, and then they can go and buy a node. Right now we have open the United States of America, but we will open Pakistan, we will open Zanzibar, and we'll open a few other countries end of this year, beginning of next.
Wow. So till now, yeah, you have to be done this way. There is something, I'm not sure if we can talk about it here. The metaverse thingy. What is this metaverse thingy?
Probably need to talk about it another time, but there's some good alpha right there.
Okay, so it's not yet to be doxed. There's a big alpha here, guys. Because I will be one of the most people into it because I like
Hex Guardians, they're called, right? It's a metaverse is kind of an outdated word, but I think it's the true version of a metaverse. So what you're able to do there is, as a Hex Guardian, you can control the outcome of the hexes that you own. So you're able to optimize, maintain, market inside the hexes that you own. And what's really nice is that if you own a hex and I own a hex, and our great video man over here owns a hex, we can decide we're going to meld our hexes together. We're going to merge them to become one. Then everything that happens within that hex, as long as we do our job, we earn some of the revenue. And that's all sliced out inside the sharing economy as well. So let's say that you're a brilliant marketer, which you are, and you think that you can get customers to buy eSIMs, well, mobile SIMs, or get customers to buy. And let's say that I'm an engineer, which I am. You're also an engineer, by the way, not just a marketer. But
what engineer you are?
Telecom.
Oh, the same.
Telecommunications.
I'm computer engineer, telecom. Yeah.
So, and you decide that you see the network isn't performing quite as it should be. You, as a guardian, and this is a code name right now, but as a guardian, you're then able to contact people within your hexes that own nodes and say, hey, your node's full. We need to put another node up. Can you put another node facing the other way because we see? Or, hey, why has your node only got 78% uptime? We could be making more money. So it kind of gives that managerial role, oversight to help support the network's growth, to optimize and to maintain it. So it's a metaverse that actually, the outcome of it.
A real metaverse that can make money, actually. It's like a real land, because metaverse doesn't make anyone any money.
It's real land.
It's a real land, but in just in JPEG. That makes money.
It's quite beautiful the way that it looks, and it's very easy to use. But what's nicest about it is there's an effect. It happens. Stuff actually happens when you click on it, right? Rather than you just saying, okay, I just bought this piece of land. What does it mean for me? Oh, I got this piece of land. No, we want people to be active in supporting the growth of the world mobile network. Someone may come along and buy all the hexes for a certain area, and then all of a sudden they become a huge entity inside that area. And it could be a whole group of people. It could be a pension fund. We've got family offices right now that are buying AirNodes, right? And we've got family offices that are interested in buying the hexes. If we talk about a metaverse, they don't understand it. If we talk about, hey, here's a platform that you can monitor and see what's happening on the network and actually have a contribution towards making the network stronger and better and faster and more efficient, they can say, okay, I understand that.
So also from World Mobile, you have eSIM, and I need to know fast about the eSIM, and also you have the network. So what is the network? And now there are so many meme tokens and so many projects, and I would like to say meme tokens because they're the biggest communities and most active communities, right?
Yep.
And they love to support their projects. And today they don't know how to support their project besides doing donation for dogs and cats, which is great, but the project need to generate revenue, right? Revenue. And tell us more about this part, about the eSIM first, and then...
One of our biz dev work streams that we've taken quite seriously is enabling utility for existing tokens. So meme coins, as you said, they actually have awesome communities, right? They have epic communities. In fact, some of the biggest communities in the space. So one of the things that we'd like to do is, we are a mobile network operator. We'd like a meme coin to be a mobile virtual network operator with their own title.
Wow.
And they can now distribute SIM cards.
So you can see so I can, let's say I'm a holder of Pepe or Floki or Doge or Brett or Bonk. I can just...
Yeah, Bonk Telecom.
So I can see Bonk Telecom and
Pepe
I use
Telecom.
it. So with my own, like all the holders. So it's a way to also share this to the others. And as a project now, they earn money?
They earn money, of course.
How?
because they have revenue, so they're able to then take a portion of that revenue, the margin, and bring it back to their community, or to keep.
Or can do donations with it for the cats and dogs or whatsoever they like. At least they're running a real economy, not just stealing tokens.
Even better than this, Elja, they can also stake their token to the SIM card.
Oh.
So not only will they get a telecom carrier, they'll also get benefits. Obviously, I don't define the benefits. The company, whoever decides, defines those benefits. But imagine Pepe holders, instead of just staking to earn rewards, they're also staking to earn cheaper connectivity. And the SIM card is a global SIM card. It works anywhere in the world. At least 100 countries right now, very competitive pricing. And whenever you're on the world mobile network, and right now there's only a few thousand nodes, maybe there's more. The community will see soon. But let's say there's a few thousand nodes. Whenever it hits our infrastructure, and it doesn't need to be a Wi-Fi node where it's 50 meters away. Some of our infrastructure goes 100 kilometers.
Wow.
Whenever they join our network, it's considerably lower price than anybody else. As the network expands, as the network grows, the utility becomes even more. And then all of these other projects, they can come now and become their own virtual mobile network operator.
No, that's amazing. And that's the contribution of the community. Enough. Be a meme token, share people, let them see your eSIM cards to share their friends. When they see, look, I'm not having this company as a provider or network provider, I'm having my meme token there. It's the best way to even show your project, and the project can generate revenue for the first time rather than just selling tokens, where you build a real economy and something
real
fun.
Utility, something that people can
and real
use.
utility, exactly. That's really amazing.
Let me give you another piece of alpha as well. We've also white labeled SIM swap insurance. So a lot of the problem in the space has been, and I think it will continue to be, is people doing two-factor authentication with their SIM. Often that's social engineering that people get hacked. Not very often is it the software itself, because it's very secure. SIM cards extremely secure and encrypted. But all of a sudden, as a user, you can now get insurance against identity theft and SIM swap. You can get unlimited calling, unlimited data, depending on which tier you are, which project. All of these things are possible. Or even just a SIM card to come to conferences. Imagine the Pepe is doing a conference, or imagine the ETCC is doing a conference.
Or the new project now, Nairo, the Nairo CTO. It's a big community. They got listed. And again, they're doing donations. And I said, guys, donations are good, but at the end, it's coming from the token supply. But if you want to generate something and increase, you have to generate revenues, and nothing better than making fun, having the internet. Even you can donate eSIMs for people, right? As a giveaway, well, as well apart.
Going even deeper, actually, there's a project on Base that I won't show, but they're a pretty cool project. They're one of the top meme coins, if not the top meme coin on Base. And they have now decided that their DAO will buy AirNodes.
Whoa.
So now their DAO will buy AirNodes, and then they'll generate consistent revenue. And then that revenue can come back into the community. And then not only they're giving away by selling tokens to give donations, they're making money. So now they can give donations. So what they've decided to do is take 3 or 4 AirNodes in rural villages in Africa. And all of a sudden this meme coin is now doing good.
Of course.
But not doing good from a charitable sense, because you know me very well. I think charity is really important. I don't think it's sustainable. I think philanthropy is really important.
100%.
I don't think it's sustainable.
I'm with you 100%.
I've seen you do it before, pull money out of your pocket and help someone, right? I've done it many times. I'm sure anyone watching, they've always helped somebody, right?
Of course.
But it's not sustainable. You can't do that every day. If you've got something that's generating income, you can.
You can do it every day.
Yeah.
And you can actually add value. That's amazing. Now, let's talk about the token. I usually don't talk about the token with anyone from all my guests, but here it's very important to speak about it, because there will be a move, which is now your main net was Cardano, and you had a bridge to Ethereum and I think BNB chain, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and we always, me as a retailer, coming more up from the EVM side or Solana, where like there are a lot of user-based inside these chains. Cardano is having quality people,
great community, honest, etc. But I was believing the ecosystem was a bit smaller than World Mobile, because I think World Mobile is bigger than any platform, any blockchain basically, and you can go back to Cardano, but the problem we faced, or you faced, that, and that's why everyone's saying why a great project like this was not in the big centralized exchanges or other centralized exchanges, because it was this main net and the EVM and etc. It was always an issue
because they don't want to list a bridge token because of the hack and all these hacks that happen, especially with the PEP network or something.
Yeah, the I think it was called multi-chain as well. Huge hackers.
Yes.
Bridge is the target.
The bridge is always a target, and it's nothing safe. Really, you cannot really be safe. So that's why you want to be there, and that's why one of the reasons that the income people generating from World Mobile is by staking their tokens inside nodes, and based on which node you are staking, you can make revenue. Right? Tell us more about this part.
Back to the token, the Cardano community. I don't think they're no longer Cardano community. They're now World Mobile community,
True.
right? Cardano was very good to us, and we're very grateful for everything that Cardano has done for us. And actually, if you wish to keep your token on Cardano, you can. You just need to upgrade it from WMT to WMTX.
Yes.
Going back to exchanges, and again, you don't talk much about tokens. I never talk about this. You won't find an interview where I am talking about it. But here, I will. Going back to exchanges, it's visible. They like to list EVM tokens.
So because EVM is easier, do you know that there are user base at the end of the exchange? The problem again.
What's the job of an exchange? To
Yes.
get volume.
Exactly. Again, it's a good and bad. Cardano, the community is amazing. The problem, in my kind of opinion, or a big part of this problem, is centralized exchanges, because they don't care about how quality is your community or how great is your product. They just care how much on-chain transactions you're doing.
Yeah.
And how much volume you're doing.
Because that's their business.
And that's their business.
And no one can be cross about that or
Yes.
angry about that, because that's just...
Yet there are some quality people like Coinbase. They have a good investment. You have Binance Labs as well. They have a good investment, where sometimes in their portfolio they have to have quality product inside. And hopefully we will see this, and hopefully they can see now once we move to the Wild West with everyone being in the EVM. So it's easy to capture them, easy to make them understand, easy to make them stake. And of course you can stay also in Cardano. You can stay, which chain you're going to be so far? Cardano, Ethereum, Base?
Well, mobile chain. So
you're going to have your own chain?
Yes.
Oh, tell us. No,
So
you're dropping alphas here.
Well, mobile chain. Okay, so we'll be supporting Base, and Base will be supporting us. We have good relationship.
Base is amazing ecosystem, and I believe once they connect the Coinbase wallet to have an easy access for retailers to buy and sell using Base chain without needing the understanding to download this word.
A lot more volume will come to Base from this.
It will be crazy.
The retailer won't know the difference between a centralized and decentralized exchange.
It will be crazy, and Base is a good choice. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Someone very close to me in this room told me Base was
In
a
the Room
great
of
play.
Eljaboom.
Yes.
It's Emmanuel, I'm sure.
It's super important for us. Going back to the earlier conversation, why do I believe in Web3? Because we could go and market to Web2 people, right? We could go and go to all the influencers in the Web2 space, and we're very attractive to them because we're in a system where the sharing economy actually generates not a 7-year payback or a 10-year payback. It's a 2 to 3 to 4 year payback, depending. In some cases, even a 9-month payback for some people. But the EVM ecosystem, that's where the fighters are as well. All these different Web3 communities, they're looking for the fight, but they've got nothing to fight for.
True.
Right?
They fight each other.
It's sad, right? This is tribalism, like football clubs, whatever. I think eventually it won't happen as much as it does now. Right now, this chain is the best because it has the most TPS. This chain is the best because it does this roll
True.
up. Okay, it's just a technology. What's true is that the communities are what make this technology. Right now, there's no real mass adoption of this technology by anybody. No one's really taking it on, and like you haven't got BMW and Mercedes putting the whole supply chain. We had ideas. Do you remember VE Chain, right?
Yes.
Great idea with the UFC and with it's the people. If the people disappear, the products no longer work.
True.
We need to give those people something to fight for, something to rebel, something to disrupt, right? And when I say we, I don't mean just World Mobile. I mean every project should be responsible for doing that. And that's one thing memes have done right. Memes are wrong because people lose money because they're stupid and they think that they should go in and they're going to make easy cash, right? Whereas the first few wallet holders are usually the ones that make the most cash. Or if
And
someone
then
got
they
lucky
say it's a fair launch, and
okay, this is not for me to speculate on,
Yeah.
but I think the responsibility of a lot of these projects is to actually give people something to fight for, right? And to give them something to move. But it's hard to pluck something out of the air that has meaning, that has real purpose, that has something that has demand. So projects DePIN, that's quite exciting. It's an exciting space, right? If you look at DePIN, the narrative there, we're seeing a lot of shit at the moment in DePIN, right? We're seeing a lot of projects, decompute, and who's going to use it? Okay, but the premise of DePIN is actually very good. Let people own infrastructure that does something that brings in real world money to provide a service that people need. That's cool. That hasn't really happened before. DeFi was very interesting. I enjoyed watching DeFi grow. 2017, there was nothing, right?
Yeah.
2018, it started to, the remnants of it came out. 2020 was absolutely crazy. But then, how many dexes have we got? How many dexes do we need? Who's really making the money on the dexes, right? What are these MEV bots? What are all this stuff happening? So it got adulterated. The pureness of it was taken out. I don't think the pureness of DePIN can be taken out. I think if we build services that people need, we give fair pricing and good quality. The problem is, if we don't bring...
Again, when we say, just to be very clear, a real DePIN project, because many projects are using the word.
Everyone's DePIN now.
Yes, everyone is DePIN,
now.
everyone is AI, everyone is all this real world asset. It's all bullshit.
They're just jumping on the hype wagon and they're trying to do and they're doing this.
It's a scam.
Okay, you can say that because you know. But in reality, DePIN has a chance to decouple from the rest of the trash and the shit in the ecosystem. Except from, there are some beautiful projects, right? There are some protocols you were seeing. It's like, wow, that is cool. Maybe it's not going to be used for the next 5 or 10 years, but if those companies can still stay alive, which is hard, by the way, because if you don't have money, how do you stay alive? So many projects that have a lot of potential will die after 2 or 3 years, like startups, because they don't have cash. But DePIN has a path. And if people can show that path, a successful model will be emulated to the best of its ability, or a slight change to it, and you'll find another successful model and another successful model. And that's what excites me about this space. And, before DePIN was even a word, we were talking about DY and we were talking about this, but ultimately it's provide a node that's physical, that provides a service for somebody. And actually, if you look at the first real DePIN, it's Bitcoin.
That's actually true. Actually, that's the most DePIN. That's the legacy DePIN, and that's the second one. I can say easy. It's World Mobile.
Thank you.
I'm saying it honestly because the system runs. Your system runs. Your system adds value. I've never seen any project. That actually add value to humanity, to change the humanity. I remember back in the days, I met Alan, and I was against the project. I hated the idea. I said, why would you really care about 500 million of the world? They don't have internet. I mean, let them live. They were happy. I mean, look at us. We're having the internet now. We're looking at TikTok, social media. It's like we're losing everything in life.
That's
just to stay. But then, then I was sitting one day, and I was like, no, I didn't like the idea. Let them stay. I wish I go to them actually. But then I was like thinking one day, and I said, okay, but these people, especially the one who has no internet at all, so they're coming like really poor countries, right? Because they have zero infrastructure.
The same as 300 years ago.
Yes. So I was saying, these people are not even having, they barely have something from United Nations where it just come donations, some food, some basic stuff. But if this guy had an access one day to the internet, and one day he had an access to a phone where 50 people can go just use the phone together, one day they might eat an apple, and now they can understand that there is a seed, there is a way they can put the seed and make a new apple.
Yeah.
There is this was like this came. I'm like, fuck my life.
It's impossible for we've forgotten what it's like without it. We don't know. We take it for granted.
True.
Totally, right? You and I met for the first time 6 months after we spoke online.
Yeah.
Right? We're speaking to each other
True.
every other day, and we're talking as friends. I send you hello, good morning. You say hello, good morning. How's it going? You tell me this. We never met each other, but I knew you were a brother.
Show me your ID.
I showed you mine.
Yeah.
So in reality, we take it for granted what we've got. But think about people who can't watch Eljaboom. That's half the world. Think about people who can't educate themselves and take opportunity into their own hands. India, perfect example. Look at where India was 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 18 years ago, 15
True.
years ago.
Very true.
Look at the economic power it is today.
Very
Do
true.
you know why? Manoj Kohli. He's it's a shill from us because he's one of our senior advisors. He's an amazing guy, but he ran Bharti Airtel. Bharti Airtel started off as 1 million customers. By the time he finished, 400 million customers in India.
Wow.
He went to the villages. He empowered the villages. In those days, it was Cisco WebEx. The villagers in those villages, all of a sudden, they had cheap, fast internet, able to go online and watch seminars. Now, where's one of the biggest programming powerhouses and tech powerhouses in the world?
Yes.
Coming out of India. It took a while for the quality.
Bangalore, Hyderabad, and actually it's true because Bangalore and Hyderabad, they're still big cities. Now, small cities like Noida, etc. in India, they are big tech companies are there. Give them the access.
I'm amazed by your knowledge that you know these things. But that's the perfect example of a nation that grew in 20 years to become a powerhouse of the world because they had internet, because they could afford, because they educated themselves. And in the beginning, you hired an Indian coder. There was jokes, there was memes about it, right? Now,
dude, what was a big memes.
But now look at
who
runs Microsoft.
Now before an Indian to become something, he had to leave India and go to the US.
Correct.
Because the one who were inside India, you get them the cheapest prices, like as a
now they're in India earning $15,000, $20,000 a month.
Exactly. Now they don't need to go anymore.
Yeah. And that's the power of the internet. That's the power of giving people the opportunity to be able to educate themselves.
And we say Jai Hind here. It's like a known word in India, respect for India. And but see, if you really go even before that, again, I didn't see it this way. I saw it more basic than yours. I saw it like this apple, where they're gonna eat, and this seed they can actually try to plant it.
To do something with.
Maybe they can't. They understand what is digging. At least they might find some resources, right? Because all this big organizations and non-profit organizations, yada yada yada, at the end they do their job, which is starts at a point and ends at a point, and when it ends, that's it. But if you have an access to the internet,
there's
what you can do, man.
You said to me earlier on as well. You said, leave them unconnected because then they don't have to deal with the toxicity of the connected world, right? There's corners of the internet that are horrible, but there's corners of everything that's horrible. At least give people the choice to have that connectivity or shut down or turn off. I have people come to me and say, "Well, are you sure you're doing a good thing?" By giving, what do you mean am I sure I'm doing a good thing? I say, yeah, but people are going to be browsing all day on Instagram and it's going to change their lives. It's like, people should have the opportunity. They should at first at level 0, at layer 0, they should have the choice.
True.
Then it's up to them.
That's very true. I mean, I always say, there's something I said, you can you can be with a brain without a heart, and then you are an angel. That's an angel, right? Or you can be heart without a brain, so you're an animal. Human, he has the two. He has the heart and he has the brain. His choice now to use the internet, for an example, to be with his mind, to become an angel and support people, or he just use it from his heart and become an angry bird running for every opportunity just to do something.
You can use it to buy meme coins and try to get rich, or you can use it to browse bad stuff all day. But actually, if you look at the way that nations have grown from having internet, the ones that don't have internet they're stuck. They're way behind. The majority of people, I believe, are good. Okay, I believe that there's a lot of manipulation out there on the internet as it stands today. But without the internet, how do we even read about these things, right? How do we even understand? How do we take opportunity into our own hands?
That's true, and that's the moment I fell in love with World Mobile. The moment I just looked at my perspective from a different view, and then I said, "Shit, you can actually change the shape of the world."
That's the purest view that I have of World Mobile, and I think that every human has the right to have internet connection. But at the same time, if people don't care about that, they can still run a node and make money.
Yeah, that's the Web3 people here now. Let's go. Yeah. One Lambo. LFG, exactly. Now, so you're gonna go to your own chain.
The World Mobile chain.
It's gonna called World Mobile.
Yeah.
It's called World Mobile chain.
Yeah. It runs World Mobile token WMTX as the gas. Right now, there is no token except from WMTX, and it's purposefully built for people to run initial network offerings for all of the. If you imagine, we have our app users. We have our users that are coming through that aren't even aware that they're using the blockchain and haven't entered into that part yet. We have every AirNode. We have thousands of AirNodes. They're the radios on our network. They're reporting back. Every single core, every single piece of infrastructure reports back information. So what happens is they come through the AirNode, then the debug logs and everything else comes into the Earth nodes. The Earth nodes, there's 1,000 of them. Then they're able to then process, store that information, and then they roll it up to the World Mobile chain. This means that when you recall your data, you've got it without asking me for permission. When you want to understand that you've been paid the right amount of money, hey, I thought I was going to get paid less than this, or I thought I was going to get paid more than this, and you want to compare those results, you don't have to ask me for it. You don't have to write a letter or an email saying, please can I see my account because I have the right to see. No, you call to the World Mobile chain. But there's so much more. Inside what we do, you have staking for all the infrastructure. So you can stake to an AirNode, you can stake to an Earth node, you can stake to your SIM card, you can stake to your plan, you can stake to your scanning, you can stake to whatever you want to. So all of this happens on World Mobile chain. Not a single bot, 100% users. And that, again, as you know, is very rare in this space. A lot of the blockchains,
it's almost none. But I want to ask you now a question. If you manage to answer it, then I'll say I'm ready. I'm full in. It's gonna be a bit challenging. We have more than 850 chains.
Yeah,
and that's people don't even know. If you're gonna, I can even do a challenge. If we're gonna bring 50 people on Web3 just to go and mention 50 chains, I'm quite sure they're gonna end up maximum 10 or 15, maximum 15 if they know, because they don't know. They're just gonna say the top 5.
Layer 1s and layer 2s and layer 3s.
Dude, more than 850. That's too much.
Yep.
So now you're coming with World Mobile token. Now we're gonna make World Mobile chain again, another chain. What makes chain successful are two things: community and liquidity. Now you bring a lot of users from World Mobile, since I'm a holder in World Mobile and I believe in World Mobile, and you bring a lot of users from Web 2 to Web 3.
Yep.
How are you gonna convert these Web 2 to actually be inside World Mobile chain, where someone like me or some people in the space, they want to build a project, even if they want to build a meme, they want to know if there's a community, just not numbers on chain coming from different countries, but they have zero accessibility to the chain. You don't understand what the fuck is going on.
This is the beauty of this is what the beauty of World Mobile is.
Tell me.
World Mobile isn't just bringing chain access to the existing users of World Mobile chain. It's a window of where Web 3 companies, Web 2 companies can access our users as well, but not access our users with us just selling out our user. The user gets a notification, hey, would you like to have this service? It could be any service. Would you like to buy this meme coin? Would you like to buy this data? Would you like to have this top up? Would you like to take advantage of this free voucher from Body Shop, right? It's a gateway to millions and billions of users, not just a gateway to the internet for billions of users. But I think the real defining moment is wait until the bear market comes. Tell me which chain doesn't drop liquidity massively. Tell me which chain stops being profitable. Tell me which chain stops giving out rewards. Nearly all of them, except from the two biggest ones.
Yeah, I mean, some
Bitcoin
of them they are
Ethereum.
Running. Yeah, no, even BNB chain last because they have their own fees coming from the exchange, etc. So they have their own business model running, and they have the gas fee happening from
They're
the
chains
chain.
that make money, right? So that from these 850, how many really make money? So it comes back to the same question. So when you see World Mobile at its full swing, the end of this year, the middle of next year, we should have millions of users on our chain. All of a sudden, a lot of people in Web3 will be crying, inshallah, as you say.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be crying because all of a sudden the bear market will come, people will pull, liquidity providers will go, like, why is my coin going down? I'm 98% down. Well, mobile chain will still have all the fees of all those people using it because it's built into the system. When you make a telephone call, when you open up your web browser, when you do something on the mobile side, when you plug in an AirNode, when you have the all the different cores that are plugged in, when you have the wholesale traffic coming in, the chain gets paid. So just like BNB chain generates that income from its exchange.
And here going to be WMTX.
Yep.
Amazing. But again, there's a part still missing. The users, let's say I'm someone from the P country that starts with the letter P. I used World Mobile just to have the access to the internet. So by default, I became an on-chain user.
You may not have claimed your on-chain status yet, but you're on-chain.
Exactly.
And at the point that you wish to say, oh wow, I'm going to log in because I've just got an SMS saying that I've got a free $5.
Yes, and then that's the
Then
time
you've got your wallet.
So here you're gonna do the conversion. So there is a let's say earn to learn.
Yeah.
So you can earn to onboard basically.
Yeah.
So you're gonna give them these different rewards where they are getting onboarded to thing. But then you said something where another idea came to my head. So you're gonna implement AI as well or not? Because
we have AI implemented into our systems already.
Oh.
Don't forget, we have James Tagg. James Tagg is the inventor of the touchscreen that we all use today. The inventor of the eSIM, patents on the eSIM.
What's his role in the company? Advisor?
No, chief architect, co-founder. So he's an inventor by nature.
I've never. Did I met him or not?
You'd love James.
I met him.
He's incredibly intelligent and incredibly awkward at times, but in a cute way. But one thing that he is super brain. So we have an AI project together that is running on World Mobile Chain. It has, I can't talk too much about it, but there's not many companies in the world that have soft cell stem cells that grow into mini brains that are then plugged into a quantum computer. So there's some more alpha that we're releasing here today.
That's a big alpha.
But this is really important for coordinating the network. When you've got millions and millions of nodes on the network from the sky and from the ground, you need to be able to move really fast and understand data really fast. So what we're able to do is actually apply AI in a way that other companies cannot. The evolution of ChatGPT is this future. The evolution of AI right now. AI is kind of stuck. It's getting better. Videos are getting better.
Yeah, of course.
But how do you work out really complex problems? It's not there yet. So it needs people like that. And we're working with the University of San Diego. We're working with James. He has a lab in his own house with his quantum computer. And World Mobile supports and builds with that.
That's a big alpha. Well, by the way, guys, Micky, he flew from Spain. And because I was running after him for almost 7 months to come to the show. He told me, hey, shut up, man, I'm just going to come now. Because he's working really hard. He's one of the guys that I speak to him every time, and he barely sees his own family and his kids because he always fly to go meet and make World Mobile become bigger. And that's actually me being 100% genuine here because I've seen that. And most of the time he just keep eating, not because he's fat, no, because he doesn't have time to eat, and that's the only time we can take a break.
But whenever I'm with you, you feed me properly. Thank you very much.
No, in the camera as well when you're back at the work with your family and kids. So he eats and he likes pizza because every time ding dong, what pizza? So he doesn't have time. He's trying to give whatever he have from his time for World Mobile. And he said something in one video. I can just go, he said like that from his quote. He said, I can just go sell this for 100 million, but it's much, much, much bigger. Even though the number was really upsetting when he said 100 million, he said, I can sell this for $1 billion, but it's still low and it's much, much better. I mean, he put me down, but I mean, the goal in general was great because it is really much, much, much bigger. Thank you, Micky, for giving us your time. And I know you have a flight today as well. He just came to Dubai and he's flying tonight as well. And thank you for coming. And would you like to say something to your biggest community that they love World Mobile and being with you from day one?
I thought you were going to say from my biggest fan, which was you.
Of course.
I would have been honored.
I'm your biggest fan, of course.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you very much, Elja, for having me on. And of course, to the community, for existing community and for new community, there's a part for you to play in all of this. There's a part for you to play in running the economy, and there's a part for you to play in actually changing the world. And not many people are going to be able to change the world. And one person alone, or 100-man team, or even 1,000-man team, or even a 10,000-man team, women and men, excuse me, they cannot change the world. It takes all of us to be able to change the world, and it takes all of us to be incentivized to change the world. And we've managed to make that recipe. And thank you very much for having me on, and I look forward to updates.
Thank you. Guys, be sure to follow World Mobile. Be sure to see their videos, see what they achieved, because they achieved a lot. And they are, in my kind of opinion, the best example of Web3 that you can show to your people to onboard them from Web2 to Web3 before they start jumping into Web2 things. Thank you, Mike, and wish you not just a room,
it's a room for Eljaboom.
Let's go!
Big shout out to Doom. I'm looking at the floor price. Hey, Brody, where the broom? We could hit a sweep. I've been getting at it. I ain't barely get to sleep. I feel like